Another R125 video? Are you guys bored of them yet? Today I am going to cover the full history of the Yamaha YZF R125, from when it was first launched back in 2008 until now. Before we get into this video, I want to let you guys know that I've owned an R125 since 2017. I still to this day love this motorcycle. This is a new style of video I'm trying out. If you enjoy these types of videos, please leave a like so I know to make more. But before we get into this video, I just want to let you guys know I am giving away a bike. I'm giving away a SkyTeam PBR that I'm building myself. For more information, check the link in the description. The Yamaha YZF R125, arguably one of the most popular and in my opinion, one of the best looking 125cc motorcycles on the road today. But just how did the R125 become such a popular option for the A1 license? Let's go back a few years. Back in the 60s, all throughout the 80s, two-stroke motorcycles like the Suzuki RG500, the Yamaha RD500, and the infamous Kawasaki H2 dominated the streets. It was also at this time that emission laws started to become stricter, urging motorcycle manufacturers to come up with new ideas and designs to keep up with these laws. Yamaha realized that with the 1980s technology, it wouldn't be easy to make two-stroke engines efficient enough to pass emission tests. So they played it safe and invested a lot of money into the research and development of four-stroke engines. Developing four-stroke engines also meant less frequent maintenance intervals, which I personally think also played a role in switching to four-stroke engines. By the time the 1990s rolled around, Yamaha replaced most of the two-stroke motorcycles with four strokes. Except for a few. Bikes like the TZR 125 and TZR 250 were still being manufactured. But why, you might ask? Didn't I just say two strokes were disappearing? Well, yes. But two-stroke engines were still highly effective in motorcycles with a small displacement, being way lighter and producing way more power than their four-stroke counterparts. This sadly didn't last forever, since the TZR 250 was discontinued in 1995 and the TZR 125 being discontinued in 1997. Now this might come as a surprise to anyone that's not from Europe, but in the 2000s, 125cc motorcycles started to get really popular due to A1 license restrictions. The A1 license restricts new riders to a motorcycle with a displacement of 125cc and a maximum of 15 horsepower. Yamaha launched a new 125cc motorcycle in 2003, being the YBR 125, a 125cc single-cylinder commuter made to be cheap and reliable. And it was just that, a cheap and reliable commuter. But considering most of the people with an A1 license are between 16 and 20, they weren't interested in a commuter. They wanted something more exciting, a bike that looks sporty and fast, something a bit more visually appealing. And that's what Honda realized pretty quickly. Honda launched the CBR 125R just 1 year after Yamaha launched the YBR 125. Honda launching the CBR in 2004 meant they were the first manufacturer out of the big four to launch a sporty looking four-stroke motorcycle. The CBR 125R quickly became one of the most popular 125cc motorcycles in Europe, mostly because there was little competition. But in 2008, Yamaha answered back with the R125, Yamaha's attempt at a 125cc sports bike. This made Yamaha the second out of the big four to come out with a 125cc sports bike. The R125 came with a liquid-cooled electronic fuel-injected engine, while the CBR was still running carbs. The R125 produced 15 horsepower and 12.2 Nm of torque, giving the CBR, which only made 13.6 horsepower and 10.6 Nm of torque, a run for its money. The R125 also wasn't an ugly bike, looking like a fully fledged sports bike. From 2008 until 2004, the R125 didn't receive any changes other than some different color options here and there. In 2014, the R125 received some visual as well as some functional changes like new rims, a new front cowl with air vents, making the bike look even better in my opinion, as well as a fully digital dashboard, new front suspension and some other small changes. It also received an O2 sensor in the exhaust to combat even stricter emission laws, and ABS was now an option on the R125. From 2014 until 2016 there weren't any changes except again for color changes. And in 2016 ABS was no longer an option but a feature on all R125s. 2016 is also the year Honda discontinued the CBR 125R without replacing it with a new sports bike, making Yamaha the only Japanese manufacturer with a 125cc sports bike at that time, only increasing its popularity. From 2016 until 2018, again, there were no changes except for color options. 2018 was also the year Suzuki and Kawasaki finally arrived at the 125cc party, launching the GSX-R 125 and the Ninja 125. In 2019, the R125 gets a full makeover top to bottom. It received a new and improved frame, suspension, a whole new engine with VVA, which is kinda like Yamaha's VTEC, and new and improved fairings, made to look more in line with the other bikes in the Yamaha R lineup. Of course, the new engine design was made to cope with the Euro 5 emission laws. After 2019, no changes have been made yet. I have owned two Yamaha R125s, my daily bike I bought back in 2017, and an R125 project bike I bought off a friend. Over the years of owning these bikes, I haven't found any major issues, however there are some smaller issues I would like to address. The first one being the fuel cap. When riding in the rain, water and dirt gets trapped underneath the little flap meant to protect your lock from dirt getting inside of the lock. Well, it actually works in the opposite way, trapping dirt underneath which gets into the lock. It makes the lock very sticky and hard to open, to the point I've actually been stranded somewhere because my key was stuck in the fuel cap. I felt like I was gonna break my key trying to pull it out. It was that stuck, which was also very awkward. A little bit of graphite lube fixes this problem, but it's worth mentioning. The second problem I found is the neutral switch, which sits next to the front sprocket. I've had to replace this neutral switch on both R125s because after a while the vibrations kill it. My neutral light would flicker when sitting at a red light or sometimes be completely off even though I'm in neutral. This apparently was fixed on the new 2019-2020 model, but again, it was worth mentioning if you have an older R125. The R125 is a solid 125cc motorcycle. It's always in high RPMs since it only has 15 horsepower, but the engine has never shown any signs of trouble. I took it on a road trip across Belgium doing 1000 kilometers in a weekend, and although the seating position wasn't ideal for such a long trip, the bike performed great during the whole trip. The popularity of the R125 also means there are plenty of replacement and aftermarket parts available, as well as plenty of forums and groups on the internet, where you can find all the information, tips and tricks on these bikes. I've seen people do some crazy things with these bikes, like swapping R6 suspension, turning it into a street fighter, or even swapping in a 660cc engine from the Yamaha XT into the R125, effectively tripling the horsepower. This sort of content is new to me. If you enjoyed it and think I should make more of these kinds of videos, please leave a like and subscribe. and make sure to give me some good suggestions on topics I could make a video about. My name is Legend, and I will see you guys next time.